ancient remains of a military horse that died 2,000 years ago, in the inferno that obliterated Pompeii, have been discovered, thanks to the help of tomb raiders. Criminals had been using tunnels they dug to search for valuables, in the ruins of a Roman villa, located in a suburb of the long-destroyed city. Their work prompted conservators of the UNESCO World Heritage Site to start their own digs, in order to put a stop to their activities and protect its remaining artifacts. Researchers used laser scanning to map a 200 feet long network of illegal tunnels, dug by the robbers, and began excavating. They recreated the complete outline of the horse they discovered using plaster casting, the first time this has happened at the site. The remains of humans, mules, donkeys and other animals that were victims of the eruption of Mount Vesuvius in AD 78, have previously been restored using the technique. The horse was found in an area now known as Civita Giuliana, to the north of the ancient city and outside of its protective walls. Archaeologists say a distinct imprint in the ground created by the creature's ear, as it lay on its left side, confirms this was a horse, and not another form of equine. While none of the creature's muscles or bones remained, plaster was used to fill in these gaps to create a full-body cast of the animal. Pompeii's director Massimo Osanna said, "The find was an extraordinary discovery," while Culture Minister Dario Franceschini called it exceptional. Experts believe that the horse, uncovered in the stables alongside the villa, was used in military parades, according to the Italian news agency ANSA. They also discovered the body of a man, aged 40 to 55, who died after the eruption, suggesting that people continued to make the area their home. In a statement to ANSA, Professor Osanna added, "This is a sign that people continued to grow crops and live here even after the eruption, producing on top of the layer of ash and stone that covered and destroyed the entire city." Alongside these major finds were a number of interesting artifacts, including amphorae, kitchen utensils, and part of a wooden bed. This is not the first time in recent months that remains have been uncovered at the site. The skeleton of a child who tragically perished in the eruption of Mount Vesuvius, found in the ruins of a public baths at Pompeii, was revealed in April. Workers restoring the ancient thermal recreational area discovered the body, believed to belong to a child aged 7 or 8 at the time. Vesuvius is believed to have killed more than 16,000 people, with bodies still being discovered to this day. The crouching child is thought to have been trying to take shelter from the ensuing cataclysm, when they were overwhelmed by deadly volcanic gases, experts say. Professor Osanna said in a statement, at the time that the skeleton was found during work in February, to shore up the main ancient baths in the sprawling archaeological site. Speaking to La Repubblica newspaper at the time, he said, "This is an extraordinary find, in an area which we thought had been fully excavated in the 19th century. What we can say from an early analysis is that the child was between 7 and 8 years old." Experts at the Applied Research Laboratory of the Archaeological Park of Pompeii will now search the body for clues about it. They hope to determine the state of health of the inhabitants of Pompeii in AD 79, including the presence of any diseases. During the first phase of study, scientists will take bone measurements and evaluate muscular impressions on the skeleton. These can be used to measure traces of any physical activity, including lifting heavy weights as well as the time the child spent walking. Comparing measurements of the length of the bones of the child, with analysis of its dental development, will give a more precise indication of its age. Establishing the sex of the individual will not be possible at this stage, as typical male and female characteristics are not visible from the bones during childhood. These may be possible during a second phase of research using DNA analysis, if enough genetic material of a decent standard has been preserved. DNA analysis will be conducted in collaboration with the Department of Medicine, at Federico II University Hospital in Naples. The skeleton was found almost complete, except for a portion of the right side of its chest, its jaw and part of the upper limbs and lower limbs. No damage was found dating from the skeleton's experiences with a group of 19th-century archaeologists who uncovered part of it. In a written statement, Alberto Martellone, head of the laboratory, added, "In the unique case of Pompeii we are faced with human remains of individuals in the fullness of their vitality, who died as a result of natural disasters. The analysis of these remains allows us to open a cross-section of the living population of the time, which in no other situation would have been possible.